Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. Hello, Emma Ferris. How are you, Ems?
I'm good, my darling. I can't actually see you, my love. I can still only see. Oh, there you are.
It's playing games with me. So I tried to put my countdown on and it just wasn't working. And then it just came up when you came up, all sorts of things. I wonder if there's something in the air today. So.
It knows that spring is just around the corner and it's excited to get started.
I think it is. It's just such a beautiful energy out there. We still have our cold mornings in Melbourne, Australia, but the sun is coming out, the days are getting longer, and it's very, very, very exciting time to be alive this part of the year. It's so nice. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our guests. Welcome to our followers. We get so many messages from all of you during the week, thanking us for the podcast, thanking us for the topics that we're sharing. I know a couple of you have asked to be on the email list, because what I do is I send a personal email to all of our watchers and people that are following this podcast. So do send us your email address to get that email. I write a bit of a recap and give you homework if we have given homework. So welcome to everybody. Please let us know if you're here. Let us know where you're from. We are going live on a few different platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. So we can't see you all. We don't even know how many people are watching us live, because we've just spread ourselves out to every platform that we can imagine. So give us a hell yeah, give us a hello. Tell us where you're from, because we have a very, very, very exciting session for you all. So let us know that you're here. What's your name? Where are you from? We would love to chat with you in the chat box. So shall we introduce our topic for today?
Yes, please.
I love this topic. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? Are you ready? So
I'm ready.
I love this topic. It is stealing fire. Stealing fire. I'm going to write that down in our comments. Some people are thinking, what the hell? What has that got to do with self-image? Stealing fire is the topic. And we had a meeting before we jumped on board, and I looked up and I was reading this book, Stealing Fire, by Stephen Kotler and Jamie Will. I love this book, but we're not going to be talking about this book today. It was just something that came up in our discussion, and it was clear that you are all ready to steal some fire. So what do we mean by stealing fire? Maybe I'll start. So stealing fire to me is tapping into the fire inside yourself, tapping into that deep passion to actually transform you to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. Stealing fire means that there is no time to be timid. There is no time to allow your paradigms to control you. What are your paradigms? They're your subconscious programming. And when we undermine ourselves, when we think that we cannot do have something, then of course that's going to become our truth. Stealing fire is tapping into that natural energy within us, that desire, that passion, that flame within us that will take us on the next quantum leap, opening up to our own internal fire, opening up to what's possible, tapping into our inner potential.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that you've brought this topic today, because I woke up this morning and the first thing I heard was the birds. Birds are chirping. It's getting lighter. The days are getting longer. The blossoms are out. I'm talking in Melbourne, obviously. And, yesterday was warm. It was a beautiful day. My little guy, he said to me, Mum, summer is here. And it is. Oh, yeah, don't worry, he's on the pool. It's that feeling of rejuvenation, and you've got more energy and the, you know, the vitamin D. So I love that you've chosen stealing fire as today's topic, because I feel a shift in the energy of moving into spring, and it's such a great time, spring, for sort of, you know, a bit of rebirth and getting, you know, throwing off the sort of winter coat and the winter layers and stepping into the light. And I think that the two go so beautifully together, of, you know, that natural energy and no longer being timid and coming out of the darkness. So how beautiful that. Yeah, such a beautiful time of year as well, you know, in Australia. And so stealing fire is, I love that, Suzana, because I must admit myself, I'm feeling, you know, a new burst of energy with this weather, and the fact the season is changing. And I always find, you know, this time of year exciting, because I love the sun. I love being outdoors. I love, you know, moving my body outdoors. So stealing fire in springtime, the two are just beautiful for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd like to say hello to Angie from US. Hi, Angie. So great to see you here. Angie. Anyone else that are watching, we can't see the total number on the screen because we're everywhere. It does, the number that we've got on the screen is not the right number, because we've just spread ourselves on all platforms. So if you could give us a hello and let us know where you're from and tell us your name and tell us what stealing fire means for you, particularly as we go deeper. I love what you have just shared, Emma. You know, so we are at the end of winter in Melbourne, Australia. Hooray. And moving into the warmth and getting out there. And you know, we need a time to retract. We need a time to gather our energy, to rest. This is nature. And then we need a time to go out there and really, really embrace what it is that we want. I believe every single one of us has a fire inside ourselves. I believe that as we get older, with the messages that we receive from our external world and also our internal, the messages that we repeat to ourselves about ourselves, you know, dim the fire. But I don't believe that the fire within can be completely extinguished while we're alive. So today is about connecting to that fire inside yourself, connecting to that passion, stealing fire, connecting into that part of you that has that burning desire. What is the burning desire for you? You know, without the fire inside, without the passion, life can get really boring. It can get mundane. And the thing with life is, where was it? I was at the hairdresser on Friday, and the lady there, she's a lot younger than me. She's probably 20 years younger. And she said, oh my goodness, we're in August. We're almost at the end of August already. And she said, oh God, it goes so quick. And I said, honey, wait until you get to my age. You know? That's what my mum says to me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the point of this is, you've got a choice, right? You can live a mundane life, bored. Hello, Felix. Lovely to see you. Felix from Zimbabwe is here.
Hi,
you can
Felix.
live a mundane life in routine, bogged down with responsibility, bogged down with the messages that you keep repeating about yourself to yourself. Can't do this, can't do that, whatever it is. And the fact is, until you get that fire burning inside you, that passion, you will not be able to live a life of adventure. You will not be able to stretch and grow and see what is inside you and experience yourself and your life in a deeper, higher, much more exciting way. You see, whether you're 20 or 50, it is going. We're at the end of August. in Australia, winter has just is passing. We're moving into spring. Wherever you are, you might be moving into winter now, but it's going. It's going.
It is. It's incredible.
So
You're so right. And sorry,
yeah,
Suzanne.
that's okay. So what will you do to tap into the burning fire inside yourself? Go ahead, Emma.
Oh no, I was just going to say you're so right. It does go so quickly, and yeah, I was looking at the boys on the weekend, and the little
Yes.
guy, he's going into prep next year, and it's like, when did that happen? How did that happen? It's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
You
I know.
yeah.
I can't believe Foxy is in prep. I know when you have children in your life, you really see how quickly time goes, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love children because they have that passion, that desire, that burn, that joy. Everything is so exciting. They know their fire. Subconsciously, they know it's burning alive. It's burning inside them. The passion, the joy. They're adventurous. They want to learn. They want to try new things out.
Yeah, gorgeous. I love that. And it's funny, ever since sort of working with you and understanding, about purpose and your goal and your big C-type goal. I'll be honest with you, a couple of years ago, I just really struggled during winter. I would find those months so challenging, and I am someone that's really driven by daylight and mood of the light and the energy, and even going back maybe 2 years ago, winter would have felt so long and it would have been such a slog. But now, because I have this purpose and this drive and this fire in my belly to get up every day and move my body and inspire the women that I work with and, run my business, it's funny, that winter that we've just been through, like, it just went like that. And I never felt that feeling of, just got to get up and winter. That was just not on my radar. It was all about getting up, being excited, ready to feel the day, ready to, move with my clients, and that fire. You're right. That stealing that fire has just made life so much more rich for me.
Yeah,
and hopefully
absolutely.
more so for the people that I'm helping as well. But
Yeah. And I can totally relate to you. When I was younger and in a job, winter was always hard, tough to get up and tough to, tough mood-wise too. I'd feel down, with the grey winters, and I never liked it. I've actually enjoyed the past winter, which is very different for me. What's the key thing for you that actually, helps that fire burn? What was the like, I know you've shared that it's been different. What was it that helped you attach to your fire, to keep your fire inside you burning during a time, winter, that is normally, a challenge for you?
I think for me, twofold. One is I always feel so much better once I've moved my body. And obviously, I get up early and you come to the classes, and it's a 6:30 start, so it is an early start. And I know that I feel so much better, not only having moved my body, but seeing your face, seeing the other girls' faces, getting messages from them, getting messages from yourself. Thank you, I feel so much better. Like, that just lifts me up and just, buoys me. And there has been times where I've woken up and, you're a bit tired, or you've had a crazy night, and I've thought, oh, geez, I'd love to sleep in. But then I just think, how is this the best version of myself? And I think about being her, and how would she handle this situation? And so I just, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have served and I just get into that pattern. And once I'm up. And but I think those two things for me, Suzana, is it's so rewarding when I get messages from clients and from people like yourself telling me that you feel different and your day has started well, and that definitely ignites my fire
Sure.
because
Absolutely. Yeah.
you feel better, don't you? You feel better having
Yeah.
made a difference, and that makes me feel good, which obviously makes you feel good, and then it's sort of, it's perpetual in motion, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is you've touched on a really critical point, and I can relate to, some mornings, some days takes a little while to get to the place that you want to be, and even with people like me, I'm a success coach, I'm a mindset specialist, I've studied psychology, this has been my life calling, this is what I've done, this is what I will continue to do for the rest of my life, this is what I absolutely love. And people expect, when people meet me, they say, oh, first of all, they're like, oh, I can't believe I've met you. And then they're like, but I can't believe you're normal too, So they see you as, because you've got those titles, as somebody that doesn't have dips or isn't emotional or doesn't have curveballs in their life. We all have curveballs. We all have, my dips they're not down like this, and they don't stay down, they're like this, right? Because I'm doing the work, and I've trained my mind to do that. Very different to what they were 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. But even with me, you have days when they're a little bit more challenging. And what really boosts me up is serving my clients. This morning, I had a great morning, but after serving my clients, the love that I felt, the gratitude that I felt, it was a complete transformation in how I was showing up in the world. So I think you touch up on something very, very important, and it's so aligned with the fire inside us. So you shared with us, that you've not always been like this in winter, and this past winter, it's been very different, deep. You show up, you're positive, you've loved it. It hasn't affected you as much, and me neither. And it is that you are online with your purpose. You are serving the world in your soul's fire, in the way that you are supposed to be serving. You are giving to people and helping enrich their life through your gift. And that's why you receive all the feedback, and then the feedback makes you feel even better about what you're doing, right? So you've tapped into your fire. You've tapped into a higher vision, a vision higher than yourself. And I love your story about how you came to wanting to transform people's lives, particularly middle-aged people, through movement because of the pain that you saw your mum go through. And similar to me, I really believe, and the more I go back to my earliest memories and beyond, I'm doing some work on myself, by myself. I'm trying to go back to memories beyond my first memory. And I believe that I was born with this purpose, but the pain and the trauma that I experienced as a child from a migrant family, that desire was even stronger. That desire, I remember I was in primary school at the front of my house, and we were so severely bullied that I was in so much pain that I made, this is a child, like I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, I made a decision, a promise to myself that I will never, ever treat anyone like that, because I knew how it felt. Okay, so there was that passion, the fire burning. Now, sometimes I failed with that in life. I can't say I've been perfect with that. But it's so interesting when you tap into your fire, your purpose in life, and you give the gift of your purpose to other people. Life is very different. Winter is not as bad as what it used to be. If you have a purpose, you are serving the world in your unique way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I'm so sorry that you had such an awful experience at when you were young. But but look where it's led you, and you've touched so many lives, and you've changed so many lives. I mean, we always talk about the sort of ripple effect, and I think about how you've not only changed my life, but also, my children's life, my sister's lives, my father's life. This is now dialogue that we are having naturally all the time. We're talking about, finding the thing that you love, and that when you are doing the thing that you love, it's not work. And I know I've spoken many times about my eldest son Yoey, and how he's got this passion to play NBA, and I know beyond a doubt that 3 or 4 years ago, if he had told me that, I would have said, "Oh, love, you've got to go to school, and you've got to go to uni, and you've probably got to get a," and I know that would have been the conversation we would have had. But because I've worked with you, and I've done the work, and I've seen it come to fruition, now I say to him, yes, we're going to live in LA. Yesterday he said to me, it's so cute, he goes to me, "Will you be my manager, Mum, or are you just going to be like a supporter?" And I'm like, whatever you want. I'm happy. I'll be your manager. And then he's so gorgeous, because there is no plan B for this kid. And I love that. And he's got the fire, Suzana. I mean, I drove him yesterday to a special training camp that he had heard about he'd seen a poster up at where he plays, and he did the research in his own time. He found out where it was, he found out how much, and he gave me all the information. He's like, "I want to do this training camp. It's on the Sunday." And he said to me, how gorgeous is he? Brought out his piggy bank, and he's like, "I'm more than happy to pay for it, Mum." And I'm like, don't worry, I've got it covered. But he's got that fire. And you know what?
Yes, he does.
I do have to thank you for that, because I know that Emma a couple of years ago would have gone, "Oh, Dal, I get that you love it, but maybe we need a plan B." But this Emma, she's like, "Yes, we're doing this. We are there."
Yes.
We went to the training yesterday.
Yes.
And the dialogue between the three of us, like even Fox, it's just like, Foxy's going to be security. I'm going to be the manager. We're living in LA. We've worked out like where we're living. Like, it's all happening.
Wow.
So he's that kid's got fire, that's for sure.
Yes, he is. I love your stories about your beautiful, beautiful children. We learn so much from children. They do this better than what we do. It's just, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And I love Yoey's journey, and hearing about his journey, and, his vivid imagination aligned with his heart, the image of his mind and his heart, being in coherence, very, very important. He knows that intrinsically. He doesn't, he just, he's lucky he's got such a supportive mum that understands this material too. So yeah. My question is, just listening, and also for our viewers. So we've talked a lot about fire, and the fire inside and the passion within. We haven't talked a lot about the stealing part. So we were drawn. So we were drawn to stealing fire. We were like, what are we going to talk about, in this session today? How can we be of service to our listeners? And I looked up on my bookshelf. I've got a bookshelf above my desk. And I'm like, stealing fire. We're talking about, and we're serving people through stealing fire. So I would love to talk more about the stealing component of the fire. I know what that means for me, and it's something that I will be exploring deeper and deeper. And I'd love to share it. Would you like to share also what the stealing part of stealing fire means? And
I don't know, to be honest. The stealings. maybe when you are not completely feeling it, is it
Yes.
something to do with, you know, getting in, like not taking from other people, but absorbing energy from other people? I know that I've spoken before to Ali about how we always feel
Hi,
incredible
Ali. We love you.
we do love Al. We always feel incredible after we've had sessions with you, because maybe we're stealing a little bit of your upbeat energy, and that sort of makes us feel amazing. So maybe we're stealing the fire off everybody and then giving it back, and it's that
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah, because what you're giving out and comes back, you know,
yeah,
and
that
if you're
circulation.
looking at the good and the energy, the positive that's coming out, you're circulating it rather than stealing. That's mine. Look at her. It's a different Yeah, it's a very different type of stealing, and there's a lot of people that will want to steal, and oh my God, in a negative way, and that's very detrimental to them first and foremost, you know, let alone everyone else. But there's what you have shared is it reminded me, Emma, of what, you know, Bob Proctor would say to us, to the top consultants. You know, find out if you're missing a part of the picture. So let's say you want to be an NBA player for LA, you know, for is it NBL or NBA? NBL, isn't it?
NBA for the Lakers.
NBA, okay, NBA. And you are feeling like you're too short, or you don't have the skill, or it's too big of a goal for you. Well, watch your players. Watch your favorite player. Be obsessed with your favorite player. Watch his or her energy, how they move, how they think, how they're focused. So you're learning from, you're not becoming them, but you're learning from them and taking, not actually so they have less of, but you're taking and learning so that you have the success yourself. So that's what what you shared reminded me of. For me, stealing fire is, yes, that's a component of it, on a different, and I love it. I so love this title, Stealing Fire. I love it so much on a number of different levels, because on one level, absolutely, I agree with what you said, you know. So if you are not feeling it, if you feel that your goal, your dream, your passion is too far, if you don't feel the fire at the moment because you've lived a life telling yourself that you are limited in one way or another, that you can't have, be, do, or have. And if those paradigms are so deep, you know, you may need to practice, you may need to pretend, you may need to look and watch other people and to say, okay, well, Emma's got that attribute. She gets up super early. She's so disciplined. You know, I love the way she interacts with her clients. I love her energy. What if I did something similar to that in mine and practice being until you have your own way? So, so very similar to what you've shared. Stealing fire also, for me, if we go another layer, means something even deeper. So for me, it means that intrinsically, every single one of us has so much inside us, Science, modern science and modern technology, as sophisticated as it is today, it still cannot tell you, Emma, what you, Emma, are capable of achieving in this lifetime. You are so magnificent. You have so much power inside you, so much power that if you focus on the way you've always been, okay, if you focus on your limits, if you focus on what you can't do, if you focus on what society tells you, okay, that female soccer has gone through the roof only because we as a society or somebody said we're going to change our paradigms of men just playing soccer, and we're going to also invite women that love soccer. Okay, so we've broken through a paradigm that for generations, and I'm from a European family, so soccer is in our blood, you know. It's been in our blood for generations, right? It's a part of almost spirituality, right? So we've broken through those paradigms, those ancestral paradigms that tell us we can't. Okay. We never were not able to play soccer as women. Never. But it was those, we are so powerful that we agreed to a paradigm that said we cannot do something. Okay. So stealing fire to me means that you are looking deeper inside yourself and your own power. And once you start to look deep and understand that the fire inside you is so strong, it is so powerful. Now, we've talked about fire as a passion, as doing your gift. But what about a fire inside you that burns on very many different levels? It's way beyond the potential that you've ever seen for yourself. Right? So in order for us to tap into that potential, that deeper part of us, whether you want to call it energetic, it is invisible. It's not invisible because you can see it in your mind. In your mind, you can see it. I might not be able to see it, and you can feel it in your heart. So it is real if you allow it. So you are absolute. We don't know how much potential you have. You've got infinite potential. So that means you can tap into layers, talents, and gifts inside yourself that are beyond anything that you can even speak about right now. So the layers inside yourself are so deep with your potential, but you must be open to another way of thinking, to seeing yourself differently, to seeing what's possible for you. You must let go of the limits that you've imposed on yourself, of society telling you that you are this or that, and therefore you cannot do this, you cannot play soccer, you cannot do whatever. And tap into the layers of the deep fire within you that is way beyond you've ever imagined. And in order to do that, you might need to dig very deep. I imagine you'd have to dig very deep and steal the fire.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Never allowed yourself to burn because you weren't even aware that it was there, because you were stuck in your thinking of your limits. So stealing fire to me doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking it from someone else. It means that you are burning it from within. And the deeper you start to understand yourself, and the deeper your passion, your fire is to really go and tap into more of your potential, the deeper you know that the fire will burn. And when you understand that, even if your most passionate thing about you is to learn more about yourself, then the goal will come, the desire will come, the life will come. And can you imagine a life where we are all living, rather than, cutting each other down and conflict and telling each other what you can't do because of your own fears? Can you imagine a life where we are intrinsically designed, where we are tapping into our own potential and our own fire, deeper and deeper and deeper layers of who we are?
I love that.
You won't even need to compare yourself to anyone else. You won't need to go externally. You can steal your own fire, and when you steal your own fire, and more and more and more and more of it, fire, the passion will burn bright.
That's great. And you know what song I was playing yesterday, which is just so funny? I mean, there are no coincidences, but it had "This Girl Is on Fire." And I was
you're kidding me.
And I was singing this, "Yo is on fire." So there you go.
This girl is on fire. There you go. We'll have to get Yoey on the show at some point. He will give so many lessons to people that listen to this podcast. So my invitation, our invitation, mine and Emma's invitation to all of you is to think about what stealing fire means to you. I invite you to be brave, courageous enough to go deep within yourself and tap in to your passion, to your fire. Tap into the passion of learning about yourself, of learning about your own potential.
I love it.
What would it mean if you lived your life with passion? How would your life change? Emma shared how her life changed, her winters changed, just because this year she has been focused on giving her gift to the world, serving people through her personal training, and she does an incredible job. And it's changed her whole life. What is it for you, our beautiful listeners? What burns inside you? How would your life change if you were able to tap into that deep inner fire? Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Suzana. That was amazing.
Thank you. So, if you aren't on the email list, please send us an email. I send out a weekly recap with homework. Watch this session, rewatch it. If you would like us to go deeper into stealing fire, we can. Let us know what you love. Give us feedback of what you'd love to hear more of in terms of your superstar self-image. This is self-image related podcast. We love hearing from you. Thank you for joining us. Bring your friends along next Monday. We want to help the world. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thanks, darling.
Bye-bye. Bye.